What? What? PS5 Pro available November 7th for, what is that? $700? Are you out of your damn mind?
That's in the U.S.
Are you out of your damn mind? Let's do the conversion, Joe, right here. $914 in the UK? Are you out of your mind? Is Sony gone crazy with this shit? What the fuck? I got hit with the price right in the face. Okay, so what else? EU, 882. If you do the conversion, obviously, you know, currency conversion's crazy right now, but still, $700 fucking dollars.
Well, to be fair, Joe.
Joe, don't to be fair this. You don't get anything. Are you serious? Get the fuck out of here. No way. There is no disk drive either. This is digital only. Are you... Hold on. We got to pull this shit up. What the fuck? So, wait. So, $80.
Is that strap-on?
$70 more. And then you got to buy the strap-on. Vertical stand not included.
Why not for that price?
Well,
they're practically giving it away with these prices, Alex.
It makes a lot of sense because none of you motherfuckers bought Concord, and Daddy Sony needs his fucking money. So
$700 plus $80, $780 plus $30 for the vertical stand, $800.
Gives a
dollars for a and then tax. What is that? $900?
8.25.
Is that fucking Jesus fucking Christ? And that's in the U.S. Now that 900 goes to up over 1,000 in the U.K. and up, you know, EU, Japan. What? Wow! This is an epic failure from Sony. We got to hear it from their mouths themselves. How the fuck? Let's watch their fucking reveal.
This because like you got some amazing games like
Joe. Astrobot. They got one. Apparently everybody's high on Astrobot, but it's out right now. You can play it. You can play it now. You do not need to wait for the PS5 Pro. And it's not going to look all that much better. Okay. But we have to hear this from Sony themselves. Okay. Maybe I'm fucking missing something. And it's fucking amazing. No, Joe.
This thing makes you seem...
Spoiler alert! It gets worse!
No.
It gets worse. But I'll get the most technologically advanced games. All games, 60 frames per second. All games, 2K, 4K, compatible, all this stuff. No, that's it. And I will show you that later. First, we're going to look at the marketing bullshit. First... We're going to watch directly from their stuff.
I love the marketing bullshit.
Yeah.
Talk to me about bleeding edge technologies.
Wait, I forgot. It doesn't even come with the dual sense edge. You know, the better controller, give me another $200. What? You would think, oh, they'll be generous. They'll bundle it with the stand. Fuck you. They'll bundle it with the better controller. No, fuck you. It's the shittier controller.
Well, that's good, though, like right here. You can make payments.
You
can put this controller on layaway. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute. That's just wild. Wow. This is too much. It's too much. Do you remember way back in the day, PS4? You remember PS4?
Yeah.
Here's PS4 and then PS4 Pro. What'd you think it was? PS4, $300. PS4 Pro, $399. So $299 to $399. Oh, okay. You know, an extra $100. But this price jump is fucking insane. It is not. I don't know. Let's hear it from Sony themselves. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny. I'm excited to be here
lead
to talk
architect.
about the newest addition to our console.
He added the
lineup,
stripes.
PlayStation 5 Pro,
We
and
added
how it
stripes.
advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5
gaming
and
technology.
how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience.
Oh, first we want to talk about something
But did it have games?
When PS5 debuted in
Where the game's at?
it brought a lot to the table.
About so many
8
circles.
Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds.
You're just showing us PS5. And it might be a little jumpy because I'm rendering Rings of Power in the background. Our Rings of Power episode, so don't take all this quality into account.
Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination.
This is what we have already.
SSD can load data at
so ray tracing already on the PS5.
Fast transitions between game
this stuff, I remember when I first saw it, really impressed me. It was good.
It was good.
And data
that's why I spent
so high that
$500 on the PlayStation 5. Now you want me to spend $800?
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games.
A Tempest?
With audio
but what if I already have a Tempest within me?
To see the enemies, to know exactly.
Is this just 5 minutes of talking about the old console?
Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game.
Ooh.
It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experience. Creators.
Why does this guy remind me of Dana Carvey? Yeah, we're in some kind of parody.
I do hear about
and now we enhance the enhancements.
We enhance.
The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with.
Hurry up. Graphics mode.
It can be a difficult choice for players.
Yeah. All right. Not
Fidelity
really.
Modes
I just play it on normal.
Typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second.
Oh
the
no!
Visuals can be choppier, and the controls.
But the games only run at 30 frames.
Emphasize frame rate and
remember that for later.
Typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second.
Performance gives you 60.
Mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want
and they don't even achieve that, they just get slightly closer. Really? You want $800?
To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways.
All right, 3 ways. I like 3 things. What is it? Give it.
First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the
bigger, larger GPU.
The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster.
Wow, that is faster.
Second,
hey, what did they do with the CPU?
Made it bigger.
Hey, guess what they did with the CPU, Joe?
Bigger.
So you got your GPU and you got your CPU. What did they do with the CPU?
Bigger.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! It's just the GPU. Okay, moving on.
Major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of arrays.
Advanced ray tracing. The original PS5 had ray tracing. This one has advanced ray tracing. In fact, you can call the original one advanced ray tracing too. So this is meaningless.
And triple
Show
the
me.
speeds of PlayStation 5.
Triple the speeds.
And finally,
I like that he also kind of looks like the dude from Spinal Tap. It's like this one goes to
That's
11.
what it is.
And
machine learning, and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution.
Oh,
or PSSR.
Pisser. You got the pisser.
Pixel by pixel.
Pixel.
It can add an extraordinary amount of detail,
wow.
which boosts the effective resolution of the games.
Game
creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the fidelity
thank you
on
for
PS5,
giving that.
which is only running at 30 frames per second.
I guess I'm really fucking old because
this goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics
that $800 worth
has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's
$800 worth. Right?
And Ratchet
I picked this
one. Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5.
What? Bro, when I have to pause things to see the difference. Okay, yeah. So the hedgerows are clearer. Okay? The hedgerows. You want better hedgerows?
I do.
$800, please.
Pulling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5,
Okay.
both of which target 60 frames per second.
Yes.
What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5.
It is? Oh,
For
okay. I
this,
see the
my
windows.
favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet and Clank. Distant details are much clearer.
Really?
They got fans doing stuff?
Okay. So here's the thing, is that a lot of this requires the developers to do these things. So if the developers aren't doing it, now they're showing off their first-party titles, and you can bet your ass about making sure that's going to work on the PS5 Pro Enhanced. But we'll get to that in a second, so just remember that as well.
And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Dwarf's orders.
Good enough for me. Show the side by side, because that game has
Ray
always
tracing
looked
is
good.
finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference, allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro.
Almost all of those scenes they showed, I didn't
Powerful
notice
console we've ever
that
built,
much of a
and a
difference,
worthy
honestly.
addition
It's
to the PS5
sharper.
family.
Yeah.
Let me
sharp.
wrap this up
A
by giving
little
you a
bit.
quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
You're just showing how beautiful those games are in general. Maybe this song will convince you. Maybe the look will convince you. Okay, it's slimmer, it's tinier. No, it just has ridges.
It's got electrical tape.
We got ridges. They put electrical tape on it.
Keep the electricity inside.
With the PS5 Pro, you can keep the electricity inside.
You want to die? You need this.
All right, is that it? Are we just gonna?
Ah,
Okay.
yes, it is.
I'm gonna skip through all this because
Yeah, I'm gonna skip on
the
this
big
too. I don't
reveal
need a
is
PS Pro.
this. Vertical stand sold separately, $700
And 30 plus 30.
and 30 with the stand, because they're showing the stand, but then they legally have to put this, otherwise they have to give people the stand. No disk drive, so they're pushing people over to all digital, meaning we own your ass. You don't own any of your games. You can't, give one
Borrow.
game. You can't borrow. Joe, let me get that. Can't give it to Alex. Nope. That's where they want you at. And fuck you. So, guys, what do you think about the PS5 Pro after seeing it
The
from
price
themselves?
is not justified. You can see subtle differences, but again, like Alex was saying, there's no fucking titles, there's no nothing, so save your money. Buy a PC.
Yeah.
For that price, you're going to buy the hard drive, the stand, everything else.
Before Alex goes, I'm going to give you one more thing. I almost forgot. So, well, guess what? PS5 Pro will still run in 30 frames per second. It's still going to have games running in 30 frames per second
I
because
was gonna say, it's like
Sony...
the games won't be Some of the games won't.
Exactly. Sony has said, look, 1080 to 1440. Let me show you this. At 30 frames on the standard console. The PS5 Pro will upgrade that.
Could offer.
Oh, I like that. Could offer. It will upgrade that 1080p to 1280p through 2160p. Also at 30 frames per second. Developers have the option of targeting 60 frames over 30, but that it will still run at 30 frames per second for most of the people, and that's up to the developers. So that's the part that I have even more problems with. So as reported yesterday, Sony is hoping to have around 40 to 50 PS5 Pro enhanced games ready for launch on November 7th. Another feature of the console is Boost Mode, which, like I said before, will improve the performance of some backwards compatible titles, but that has to be done via patches from the previous developers. So, go ahead.
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, it's dumb, but it's going to sell really, really well. I mean, Apple just put out the new iPhone.
Why does everybody keep saying that? Almost every video I've saw on this says they think it's going to sell really well. But isn't there a certain point in the market where it's too expensive?
I think people are
I mean, everybody's
stupid.
complaining about, you know, the price of groceries and this and that, and they barely have money, and you're telling me this is going to be a huge hit?
I don't think those are the same markets at all. I think there are people complaining about groceries that weren't going to buy PS5s anyway, but I think the people who are buying this level of technology are the Apple users, and they're the people that see a new thing come out every year, whether they're doing... There's no benefit to the new iPhone. There's got
It's a
nothing...
wide lens.
Oh, it's got something... I got to spend $1,200 on it immediately. This doesn't make financial sense, but it never had to make financial sense because this is for people who are going to upgrade because there was an upgrade, or it was for people who don't have PS5s and were trying to future-proof or something. But, I mean, it's not for me, but I've already accepted the fact that I'm no longer the target market for the majority of things that people are making.
Consumer.
But I don't know. I think they're going to... I think it's the right time for Christmas, you know, get on to those sales, and I don't know. They got to make up that Concord money somehow.
A fixed resolution increase from the 1440 to the 2160 would qualify as a PS Pro enhanced game. But they don't have to do anything with the frame rate. So they can keep it at 30 and you could still do that.
And frame rate is honestly, for me, the most important thing. I don't give a fuck if it's at 2160 over 1080. I want 60 frames per second. I would rather have 60 frames per second stable at 1080, and I'll be happy every single time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people just load up a video game and go, wow, look at the grass. I care when I'm moving through the game. I'm looking at the moves coming at me, and I don't want it to be choppy.
Yeah.
So
there's no doubt that it will, enhance it slightly by some percentage while you're moving. That we've seen in the videos, but obviously that effect is enhanced when you go from 30 frames to 60 frames. And for them to say the PS5 Pro Enhanced label will still be available for a variety of other scenarios that include 30 frames per second games, you're not going to feel, as much of an effect. And even if, let's say, all this bullshit that I just said, even if it said none of that bullshit is happening, everything is 60 frames per second, everything is 2K, everything is at the highest levels that they can, it would still be a ridiculous amount of money. I still think that the console is overpriced. What do you think that the price should have been instead of, what was it, $699?
It's $700.
That it's deceptive because it's a lot more than 700. It's like 800 or whatever.
Else, yeah.
But what do you think this baseline price should have been?
I mean, that's probably what I would have guessed it to be at.
Really?
To be honest. I mean, so the difference between a PS4
right
and
now it's $499. It goes up to $699. I think $599 is the most. Now I want $550, but that's not gonna happen. But I'll say $599.
It went up by a third the last generation. I expected to go up about a third, and that's almost spot on. So
what do you think it should have been, Joe?
$600. $100 less.
That's what I say. Yeah, $599. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I price checked some PCs at Costco right now, and there are some pretty amazing 40 series PCs that you can get right now.
Yes.
For like $800.
So let's get into that, Alex.
Everything. And so like I was looking at what my PC, I have a 10900K and I have a 2080 Ti. My computer can run anything. Yeah. It was considered low end, but it can run anything. There are computers that are better than mine for $800 right now, and they're kind of future proof because you can swap things out, and you don't have to just play PlayStation games.
Now, if you have no PC and you're going from no PC to best PC, maybe 1,500, something like that, right? But what I'm saying is if you're about to spend 800, 900, 1,000, then you'd be better off upgrading your current PC with that same money and get something much better. So PC Master Race. Now you take this advice from somebody who used to be nothing but a console fanboy, used to be an Xbox fanboy and then console fanboy, and then said, the console wars are for, 12-year-olds, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. Some people still engage in it. But I'm like, man, we're all gamers here, and I quit that shit a long time ago. And, but the PC for me, you get so much other things done in addition to your gaming. I think that money would have been better spent upgrading your current computer because you more than likely have a current computer. And if not, even with that, you could probably still get a solid system. But like Alex said, it's probably for them early adopters. It's probably for the rich, super rich tech heads. And it might sell out because of limited supply. It might be that Sony is like, we're only going to make this much so that we can ensure we can say, we sold out. See, we sell out at this price. Everybody wants it at this price. Why don't you get it at this price? But it's artificial selling out if they're only, limiting the units. Now, you don't really notice that until later when they have to release, okay, this is how many units we sold. This is this and that. And more units come in, and that artificial scarcity hypes people up, and that fear of missing out might hype people up. But honestly, this price is so high that almost the majority of people, I'd say 80 to 90% of people are like, no way, fuck off.
Yeah, but in my opinion, they just weren't the target. I think they know that they've got just enough people.
So they were going for the 5%.
Yeah, I mean, the people who buy the new iPhone every year, no matter what. I mean, they would have to give me Bloodborne 2 with this for me to even consider it.
I'd have to have 5 games, at that, not just one, But here's the thing. You're talking to the wrong person here because I have actually never purchased a mid-console refresh, like an upgrade. Have you ever done that?
No.
Like the Slim or the Pro or this or that. Have you ever done a refresh? Right. We are old school. We're old farts here. This isn't something that we do. We take that mid-refresh money, we put it into our computers, or we buy 7 more games.
I upgraded my own Xbox. I took the thing apart, and it was in like 9 pieces running.
That's cool.
Yeah, you had to open it up, and you
just voided your warranty. But
it was way beyond that. Yeah.
You out of your damn mind. That's our opinion.
But Joe, what about you just take this over to your local GameStop, and they are clearly going to give you so
bag of
money.
Skittles.
It's a great upgrade for $350.
Some people are going that angle where if everybody rushed to trade in their PS5s, then you're not going to be getting a lot. Trust me. GameStop's going to immediately adjust for that. But I guess.
Well, you turn in your PlayStation, you don't have a console for 2 months, and then you show up the day that this comes out, and they go, hey, the scalpers already bought all of them. You fool.
Then all the PlayStations would be cheaper.
Yeah. The decision between saving that much money, and not going pro, I would push you to get a PS5, not a PS5 Pro. And if you already have a PS5 and you're looking to upgrade, I still think that price disparity going to GameStop is still too much money. And if you're not going to GameStop, it's just out of the realm of consideration. But who knows? There are people that just have more money, or that this is what they save their money for. So I guess apparently, according to everybody I've heard, it's going to sell out. It's going to sell like hotcakes. And honestly, I don't want it to, because I don't want this to become the norm. And I don't want them to be like, see, we knew we could do this, and we knew we can charge people. We knew we could take out the stand. We knew we can give you the shittier controller. We knew we could take out the fucking disk drive. And all that stuff, and still sell it for the ridiculous amount.
And it doesn't come with games.
And it doesn't come with games. So, no, absolutely not. All right, guys, that's our opinion on the PS5 Pro reveal. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts down below.
And if you're gonna buy it.
And if you can buy it, well, you gonna get
You want to buy me
hammered in
one?
the college.
Look, you
buy
buy it. So you give me one. I'll change my tune real quick.
All right, bye, guys. See you on the next one.